Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, class 10th. Hope all of you are fine. I'm your teacher of English, Mrs. Fawzi Afzal. We have already learnt the basics of comprehension and summary writing. So in today's lecture, we'll do some more practice in summary writing and comprehension, because you know that it's a very important question of your examination, and it carries 10 marks. But before doing summaries, let's recap that what we learned in the basic rules. Some of the important things that we should keep into our minds while summarizing a paragraph or a passages are that we should summarize a passage in our own words, but without changing the real sense or the real meaning of the passage. It means that we can use our own words, but we cannot give our own opinions. We should remain an outsider. Then we learned in the rules that we should know very clearly that what we should omit and what we cannot omit. Means that what details we can leave, or what are the things that we cannot leave, what are the important things that we cannot leave. Then we should cut short the paragraph into 1/3 of the real passage, and we should make it a very concise and compact short paragraph, and we should leave out all the unimportant details, and we should preserve and save the real theme, the real meaning of the passage. Then we learned in the rules that if there are some dialogues in a passage, then we should not write the summary in the form of dialogue, but we should narrate it into indirect speech. Then we learned that there should not be any repetition of the ideas, and we should be to the point and concise, so that there is a very short and compact paragraph, and we should only give the gist of the passage, only the gist of the main paragraph, and we should get to know that what is the theme of the passage. So beta, let's do some more practice in summary writing. So beta, this is your exercise number 4. Today we'll do from exercise 4 to 8, which I asked you to do in your summer vacation. Although some of you have done it well, but most of the students have not attempted it. So as it is a very important question, so we'll be doing it so that the others who have not done it, they also do it, and the students who have done it, they should know that how to attempt it more in a more concise way, in a more compact way. So this is your paragraph number 4. So let's read it. So as you know already that when we have a passage to summarize or to make a précis, then first we should read it twice or thrice. So it is for you to read it, but here we'll just read it once, as you have already read it. Musa was commander-in-chief and the gates were in his charge. So Musa is the chief commander. Musa bin Nusair basically is a very historical figure. Musa bin Nusair, he was an Arabic general who conquered Andalus, it is in Spain. So he was the commander-in-chief, he was a general, and he was in charge of the gates of the city. As you know that in the past, as there were walled cities, and there were gates, so that the city can be protected by the attackers. So they were protecting, or they were guarding the gates of the city. They had been barred, means that gates were closed, barred, closed when the Christians came in view. When the Muslims saw that Christians were about to attack on their city, then they closed the gates of their city. But Musa threw them open, but General Musa opened the gates of his city, and he said, basically he made a very emotional speech to his soldiers. And what he said: our bodies, he said, will bar the gates. So he said that I am opening the gates because now our bodies will defend the gates, and our bodies will work as the gate of our city. बॉडीज़ मीन जैसे हम उर्दू में कहते हैं कि ये अब हमारी लाशें ही हिफाजत करेंगी हमारे सिटी की. सो इस तरह से उसने बहुत इमोशनल स्पीच की. द यंग मैन वर काइंडल्ड मीन्स दैट दे वर मोटिवेटेड बाय सच वर्ड्स, एंड व्हेन ही टोल्ड देम वी have nothing to fight for but the ground we stand on, and without that we are without a home or a country. So he said, he told them that this city, this ground, या ये ज़मीन हमारे लिए बहुत important है जिसके ऊपर हम खड़े हैं. So he said that this ground of our city is very much important for us, and we have nothing more important than this, and if we could not defend our ground today, then we will be rendered homeless. Then so this was a very emotional speech which inspired the soldiers so much so that they were ready to sacrifice, to die, to sacrifice, to lay down their lives with the general. With such a leader, so he was such a brave leader, the Moorish cavaliers, Moorish the Muslims army, cavaliers means soldiers, or this basically these were the horsemen. Soldiers performed feats of bravery. So they performed the acts of bravery in the plain, which went down in the annals of history in golden words. So they performed the acts of bravery which were written in the annals of history, means in the records of history in the golden words. So they made history by performing the brave acts. So let's see what are its important words and meanings, as you are also asked to do it in your comprehension passage. So you know that there are about 4 words and meanings that you have to write in your paper in your question of comprehension, and this carries 2 marks. So barred means closed or fastened. Kindled means motivated or provoked or inspired. Cavaliers means soldiers, horsemen, and annals means historical records. So let's see that how we can summarize this passage that we have read. So the title, you know that the title also carries 1 mark, and this summary carries 4 marks. So this is very important for you. The brave commander, basically you know that the whole this passage is about the bravery of this commander, General Musa. So what was in this? You know that in this paragraph there are a lot of dialogues that he made while he was speaking to his soldiers, while he was motivating them. He was making so much emotional he was delivering so much emotional dialogues. But all that we know from this paragraph is that he was very brave and he was motivating his soldiers, and finally his soldiers defeated the Christians. So these are the 3 things that we should keep into our minds, and these are important. That General Musa was very brave. He motivated his soldiers to sacrifice their lives, and finally the soldiers defended their country. These are the 3 main things that will be summarized. That Musa, the brave commander-in-chief of the Moorish army. So you see that sometimes the details are random, but when we summarize it, we will arrange it into a sequence. Sometimes these are not written in a sequence. For example, now this Moorish army was written in the last line of the passage, but this is important information, so we will write it in the start, in the first line. Musa, the brave commander-in-chief of the Moorish army, motivated his soldiers to defend their homeland at the cost of their lives. So this was the thing. As a result, his soldiers performed historical acts of bravery and defeated the Christians. So it is our very concise and compact summary that we have cut short the passage into 1/3 of it. So let's start the next passage. Next passage is Early rising is a good habit as it gives us early start of our day's work. We gain time while the late risers are asleep. The early risers have another advantage also, that is that is why they enjoy good health and good and sound health. Those who are out of bed early have plenty of time to do their work carefully, steadily and completely. They do not have to put off means to postpone anything to the next day. The early riser is always happy, fresh and smart. He enjoys his work, while those who get up late find their duty dull and dry and do it unwillingly. Early rising is therefore a key to success in life. If you read this paragraph twice or thrice, you will get to know that there are the important thing is that the early rising has a lot of benefits, and early riser has a lot of time to finish his work, while the late riser is at disadvantage and he finds his work very boring. So first let's see what are some of the important words and meanings, and then we'll summarize it. Plenty means enough. Steadily means regularly. Dull means drab, dreary, uninteresting, boring, lot of meanings. Then unwillingly means reluctantly, without interest. So let's see how we can summarize this passage. So the title should be The Benefits of Early Rising. Early rising is surely a key to success. As I have already told you that sometimes the information, even the important information, is in random in the passages, but one who summarizes the paragraph, it is his duty that he should put the important information in the first, and he should arrange all the information in a good way. So we will write that the last line in the start, early rising is surely a key to success. As an early riser remains healthy and active, he has more time to accomplish his tasks as compared to a late riser. So you know that in that passage there is just a comparison of an early riser, that he has more time to finish his work and he has good health, while the late riser has less time to complete his tasks. So he has more time to accomplish his tasks as compared to a late riser who finds his work uninteresting due to lack of time. So you know that now we have did this summary in a very compact and concise way, and we have reduced it into 1/3 of the real passage. So now beta next is your exercise number 6. Some ants are social insects. It means that they live in societies, cooperate with one another, and do only the work assigned to them. They go out in search of food in an orderly fashion, marching in lines and columns like soldiers. Different groups of social ants have different jobs to do. They manage their affairs through division of labor. Some ants guard and protect their community. They fight the other insects who attack them or raid their colony. They are called soldier ants. Another group gathers food for the whole community. The social ants have not learned this division of labor. They have inherited it. So here the division of the duties have been described, that how the social ants have distributed their duties and responsibilities, and they are born to be disciplined and orderly because nature has taught them how to divide their duties, how to divide their responsibilities. So they have not learned this duty by themselves, by their own, but nature has taught them. So there are two kinds of ants. One are the soldier ants and the others who collect food. So here I'm not discussing the question answers of the summaries with passages with you, because these are all very easy and you can do it very easily. So it is to write summary, because it is of 5 marks then, and you have very less practice in it. So that's why I'm just discussing the summaries here in this passage, and you will be doing all your question answers on your own. So let's see what are its words meanings. Orderly means disciplined, fashion means style or manner, community is society, marching means parading, like the army men, like the soldiers. Now, what is its summary? The title should be Ants, the social insects. Ants are social insects as they live and work together. They have inherited the division of labor. So again, as I told you in the previous two passages, that sometimes very important information is at the last, which should be in the first. So we should put the important information first, and we should arrange it. So we have written this sentence here. They have inherited the division of labor, so they perform their duties with great discipline. The soldier ants protect their colonies while the others collect food. So these are the two kinds of ants, two groups. One is soldier ants who protect their colonies while the others collect food, right? So it is your short summary. So now next see your passage number 7. Iqbal is not only the greatest poet of our age, but also one of the greatest poets of all times. There are not many poets who wrote as many great poems as he did. He didn't write poetry for poetry's sake. He was in fact much more than mere a poet. So in these lines it is being said that Iqbal was a great poet, and he didn't write the poetry for the sake of the poetry, but he had a much more higher cause, much more higher objective to write poetry. He was a learning man, he was a great scholar and philosopher. He was a political leader of great importance. But more than anything, he was a Muslim who had a great love for Allah and his Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He wrote poetry to express the great and everlasting truths of philosophy, history and Islam. He wrote poetry to awake the Muslims of the whole world from the deep sleep and ask them to unite. So you see that in this paragraph, this is about our great poet Iqbal, but here, apart from being a poet, a lot of other qualities have been discussed here. So we'll summarize this paragraph in a way that all his qualities should be in our summary, and not a single one is excluded. For example, he was a poet, he was a scholar, learned man, scholar. So philosopher is also scholar. He was a political leader, and anything for more than anything else, he was a great Muslim who composed his poetry to awaken the Muslims of the whole world. So let's see. These are its some of the important words. Mere means soul, learned scholar, everlasting, eternal, philosophy, study of basic knowledge and reality. So let's see its summary. Title is Iqbal, a multifaceted poet. Multifaceted means having many layers of personality. Iqbal is not only the greatest poet in the history, but is also a renowned philosopher and a political leader. He was a true Muslim who loved Allah and his last prophet, so he composed many poems to awaken and unite the Muslims of the whole world. So here we have compacted all his qualities in this passage. So now next see your paragraph number 8. This is a short paragraph and it's very easy. You might have done it on your own. Some of you have done it, but now see how we can summarize it in a more correct and short way. One day a girl found a coin. It rolled away. It rolled away before her broom when she was sweeping the yard and fell with a little clatter against the wall. She ran and picked it up. Someone had dropped it while crossing the yard and perhaps had not even troubled to look for it. So बेटा यहाँ तक ये जो आपने इतनी लाइनें पढ़ी हैं, इसमें सिर्फ ये है in all these lines that a girl was cleaning the floor and she found a coin. So you see that all these lines are unimportant information, and fell with a clatter and against the wall and she ran and picked up. All this is unimportant. So basic thing is that she found a coin. So it was little worth but seemed a whole fortune to her, who never had anything of her own before because she was a very poor girl. So she rubbed it clean on the sleeve of her blue jacket, blue cotton jacket. So this is unimportant detail, that what color of jacket was and how she cleaned it by rubbing on the sleeve. So, and put it into her pocket. So this is very simple, that a very poor girl found a coin and she cleaned it and put it into her pocket. So this is very simple. So now let's next see the words meanings. Sweeping means cleaning, clatter means rattling sound, fortune means wealth or luck, rubbed means wiped. So next we'll do it summary. A humble fortune, a humble fortune means a very unimportant wealth which was important for that poor girl. One day a little girl found a coin. Now you see that we have skipped all that unnecessary details. One day a little girl found a coin while cleaning the floor. She picked it up, wiped and put it into her pocket. Being penniless, penniless means that she was very poor. She had not a single penny with her. Penny means पैसे, जैसे हमारा पाकिस्तान का पैसा होता है. Being penniless, she was very poor. This old coin had a great worth for her, had a great value for her. So that's all for this summary. So beta, now we have done the practice of these 5 summaries, and you will write these summaries from these passages 4 to 8, and you will also write their words and meanings along with their titles in your neat copies. Thank you very much and take care.